In fact, we are going to do a survey. It will come out in, I don't know, early next week. This show has been a couple different times at the Driscoll. How many people were with us, which is up there, I don't know, 4 or 5 blocks. How many people were with us at the Driscoll last year or year before? What, 2, 3, 4? Well, it's the complete opposite of this hotel. It was built like 1800, and I don't know. There are ghosts there. Someone was murdered or something. I got caught in the elevator last year and had to be rescued. But it's a beautiful old hotel. It's historic. Lyndon Johnson had a suite there, and I don't know, twisted people's arms to get him to do what he wanted him to. And anyhow, it's complete opposite. So I guess you won't have a basis of comparison, but how many people have enjoyed this hotel? Good, great. It's a beautiful view, isn't it? We've got a view all around us here, a 180-degree view. So we're going to have to decide. We came here as a second choice. We wanted to go back to the Driscoll. How many people want to come back here? All right, great. Okay, well, we'll have to make a big decision about that. So Spot IM is our sponsor of breakfast this morning. And I want to introduce CEO Nadav Shoval, who's going to speak to you about what he's going to tell you about. Normally I have a little title here, but it's okay. Nadav, okay.
Thank you. Can you hear me well? Good morning. And before I even start, I gotta tell you guys are brave. 8 a.m. Saturday. I barely made it. I don't know how you guys made it because I heard you guys went out yesterday. So thank you very much for coming. I appreciate it. So today I want to speak mostly not about us. I think that this is something that I don't like is when companies going on stage and tell you how amazing they are. I try not to do it, and if I do it, remind me not to. So we work with some of you even in the audience. We work with you guys. We build communities for publishers. And we try to help them to bring back their best users to their sites. So I want to speak about some business models, show you some data points, and help you guys perhaps to think about some alternative business models. And it doesn't matter whether you do subscription or you do ad-based. We have some ideas. So let's look at the first thing, which I actually loved about it, and I saw a few days ago. I don't know if you saw, but they call it today about the engagement economy. And for me, when they say the engagement economy, so many publishers, so many companies are saying, let's improve engagement. But what's engagement? Time on site, page views, all these things. This is all awesome, and this is all very important. And I'm very honored actually to speak here today about what is engagement for us. Because I think that many people look at engagement, oh, let's put this tool on my page, or hey, let's put a poll or reaction or commenting or whatever on the page. But this is not engagement, right? Engagement is about two-sided conversation. Engagement is about really getting people to care about what we do and engage with it. And I'll try to add some data about it. First and foremost, in regard to attention, I assume that all of you have seen so many decks of so many brilliant CMOs that tell you about the time spent of average user. And the best news I have for you today is that there are some formulas we can do and things we can implement to fight it. But the real thing what I'm trying to explain here is that I will quote someone from News Corp, actually, Robert Thompson, and he said, New York Times is not my competitor, Google are. And I have some news for you today. It's not only Google. It's actually almost, all these guys. Also Twitch, and even Tinder. Yeah, even Tinder. Because if someone is spending and swiping on Tinder, is not consuming your content, right? So we're all fighting on attention. And when people say, it's about engagement, I say it's about attention. And how do we get people to give us slightly more attention rather than these guys? So obviously the tech giants have unlimited resource, right? They have unlimited resource. They have some, so much incredible talent. And then the biggest question for us is, are they really our enemies? And my answer is no. Let's try to learn from them. They do some really cool things. And it seems it's working for them. But what are they doing right? Because obviously, some of these companies, and I don't want to speak bad about any tech company because I think technology is a great thing, but I truly believe that some of these guys, some of their purpose is to take our content and to take our best users and host the conversations and host our core users instead of on our own and operated apps, OTT websites on their platforms. And this is actually a big problem for us as an industry. And this is something that we should speak about and think what we do about it. But regardless, I think they have tons of best practices and knowledge that we can bring to the media industry without having so much resource, because we do have the talent and we do have the knowledge, and it's out there. So I will try to provide some data points. And obviously, we all understand there is so much content out there. It's overwhelming for users, right? It's overwhelming, the amount of options that we have. And it's not only about news, it's about everything. People are creating content across platforms, and the attention span is going down and down and down because there's so many options out there. So we see community as a business model. We see community as a funnel. We do not see it as products. And we actually believe that some of the best companies on NASDAQ figured out that community is a business model. Community is not a nice to have. And when we try to introduce SpotAmp a community for the media industry and brands, we're not saying install our product on your own and operated. We say, let's work together to build a strategy how to focus on the 10%. So my co-founder, incredible guy, he was one of the guys that did World of Warcraft. And one of the things I learned from him is that in social networks, in the games industry, movies, etc., they look mostly on 10%, 15% of the users. I just came from Tech and Disrupt. We just announced our partnership with TechCrunch 2 days ago on Disrupt. And they told me something incredible. TechCrunch told me, actually on the stage, that 1% of the users, 1% of the users of TechCrunch are responsible for 15% of the total content consumed on the site. It's incredible. So let me share with you some data points that might some of you know. On most content industries, 10% of the users are responsible for 90% of the revenues. So if you guys will look at any public company around content, many of them you will see that 90% of the total revenues are coming. The ARPU is mostly on the 10% of the most important users. And who are these users? The community. So what I'm trying to bring today is a concept of ARPU and lifetime value, and not pay views and time on site and RPMs, because RPMs are one metric to measure our entire users. But why don't we look at the most important users and optimize for them? Because they're the one who really move the needle, and they're the one going to make our industry so much more sustainable. Because again, these guys, if I go back, these guys figured out that 10% of the users are responsible for 90% of the revenues. And we really want to bring this knowledge and best practices to publishers. So I hope that today you guys will figure it out, that it's not so hard to build a community. So what is community? What's the definition of community for us? Community is about loyalty. Community is about users having identity on your site. Community is also about having two-sided conversations. People today, especially like my generation, truly care about having a voice, truly care about having an opinion. So it's about promoting some of their opinions, and which is some of the things that we try to do with some of our partners. How can we create content that people want to speak about? How can we host these conversations? How can our teams talk with some of these users? So we try to create tools, what is the live blogs, Ask Me Anything. We try to really create tools for the editors to engage with the users. And the results are just incredible. Honestly, just incredible. So again, community is a funnel. Let's think about it as a business model. Let's not think about it as something that might happen for us if we're lucky. Let's look at it as a product funnel, okay? So what does it mean for us? When we say community, it's not just about, again, hosting conversations on your sites. It's about understanding that the more people we're going to engage on your site, the better the results will be for perhaps signups. If you guys care about subscription, you have people in the audience here that are responsible for the journal and other ones, and they will tell you that most subscription products out there, almost all the publishers we work with in the UK and the US, and we work with many of them, that try to do subscription. The number one request of users, I want to be part of something. I really want to be part of something. It's not enough for me to read content. I want to feel them part of something. So what we try to do, is to increase conversion for people to engage on your site, and afterwards to help you to optimize. For instance, if someone will scroll down, engage with an author, we might ask them, hey, do you want to sign up? Hey, do you want to go to this page? Do you want to do these things? And it is an endless funnel of engagement on your site. So a little bit about us. I won't talk too much about Spot. We provide a holistic platform for a community. And again, it's not just about hosting conversations. It's also about creating audiences with first-party cookie, because the third-party cookie becoming a bit problematic as well, right? It's about creating a wonderful experience of gamification around users and providing users a real user identity and stuff like that. And perhaps the most important thing, and I will take a minute to elaborate about it, it is about, again, the data. Because after you have people engaging on your site, we want them afterwards to understand not only what they speak about, but what it's their intent. And then we can create real segmentations, whether we want to use it for better conversion to subscribe, or whether we want to use it for PMPs or direct sell. We truly believe that the future of publishers in regards to monetization, it's about first-party cookies of your users. You don't need to buy data. You don't have to upload your third-party cookies anymore. People care about your brands. You are some of the best publishers of this nation. Why wouldn't you have your own audience? Why wouldn't you be more savvy about what they speak about, what they do? Just try to understand that this 10% of your users truly care about what you guys do and right. And if you will give them the platform to do it right, they will do it more. And let me tell you something about Facebook and Instagram. They also have 1%, 2% of users that actually write things. Most people read it, right? And the people that read and engage on your site are the ones that you'll be able afterwards to segment and potentially provide them better targeting. So you will be able to put less ads, but the RPM is going to be much higher. And this is ARPU for us. The average revenue per user will grow significantly if you will implement community as a platform. So some data points which I think are cool to see. We took this data only on US publishers, everything from news, entertainment, lifestyle, automobile, and many other industries. And the numbers are just incredible, right? It's incredible to see it. And this is average. Average. Engaged users is consuming 160% more. A commenter is consuming almost 420% more. It's incredible. The numbers are just incredible. And it's just like there's so much data out there. Let's look at our friends from AOL, right? As a kid, I was using all the time the AOL chats and forums. And one of the first things I told them, how come AOL is not hosting conversations online? And today, they have incredible communities on Huffington Post, on AOL, on Engadget, very soon on TechCrunch. It's just incredible to see the numbers. Commenters are consuming, and the average session is more than 7 times. It's just incredible. Some data on our friends on Engadget, on the tech sector. You can see the increasement of pages per session, of the viewability of the below the fold. Yes, you can increase the viewability of the below the fold by building community and stuff like that. So thank you very much. Hopefully I provided you guys some data points in the morning. Thanks again. I know it's super early on Saturday, but really would love to help publishers, regardless to us, SpotAIM, and what we do. We really want to make our industry more savvy, provide some more data points, because in the end of the day, we are the one creating the content, we are the ones who should host the conversation and enjoy the fruits of that. Thank you.